we'll spend months working our way through treasure hunts. Cowlazars,
Hey, everybody. It's Thursday after the World Series of Fenn. We're still hungover. I don't know how else to put it. I'm tired. What about you, K-Pro?
Yeah, I think I'd probably, I had quite a night the one night. So, yep, it was great. It was awesome. I'm good. I think at like 21 or 22, I'm good. I'm recovered in a day. I think at 40 that I am,
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a while to maybe a week or two. You know, it's kind of like jet lag. You get an hour for every day. An hour of sleep I miss. There's at least 10 hours of sleep I miss. It's going to take 10 days.
Oh, every one of those Fremont drinks takes a day. I think that's the rule. So you had like, how many? 4 or 5? Anyway.
Doesn't matter.
It was your turn. I did it. What is it? 2 years ago. So it was your turn. So yeah, we just want to go live and talk about the World Series of Fenn, talk about the invitation, talk about maybe next year's World Series of Fenn. And then also our old friend, Brent John, he couldn't make it to this year's World Series of Fenn. So he wrote a book, and we got the info on how you can pre-order that book because he says he's the true finder. So if you're interested in that, you can pre-order his book. We'll have all the details. But this is going to be a short show. We're definitely not doing an hour, so I need to take a nap.
Yeah, so a couple of the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people were asking, we had a lot of new people. I think we're getting about half are used to be Forrest Fenners, and about half of those are really still into talking Forrest Fenn. And then a lot of people were there for the invitation, a lot for JCB, a lot of discussion on Xavier and like all the other hunts. So the one thing that I saw a dramatic shift was the amount of people talking about Forrest Fenn. Now, Mike's going to say, of course, because it was over 4 years ago. That should have been done long before. That's true, except there's still a lot of questions and it was about 1:00 on Saturday, and a couple of the Forrest Fenners grabbed me and said, no one's been like really deep diving. Can we go up to the suite and talk Forrest Fenn, which we did for a few hours because Old Red took too long to get into. It was like over an hour wait. So there was that. So that was one thing I thought was interesting. The other thing is the poker tournament. Let's talk about the poker tournament, Mike.
Mm-hmm. What about it? It was awesome. The issue was we had like 12 non-treasure hunters join, and they can't prevent them from doing that. So that turned into an issue.
Yeah, their tournament only had like 8 people in it, and ours had 47 or something. So we got a lot of locals, and that's why the final table ended up almost 50-50. So what we decided to do was they cashed out of it because what the people that were making the final 3, they didn't want to go against someone for money when they really wanted, some things that were one-of-a-kind items, like the Forrest Fenn nozzle, the Forrest Fenn arrowhead. All the prizes that were pretty awesome. So I will say, though, there was at least 20 at the escape room, which was pretty.
Yeah, we had 20 for 2 escape rooms. That turned into a bigger thing than I thought it was going to.
Yeah. So I will say, if anybody has questions about World Series of Fenn and you want to ask them, you can. But I want to talk about next year. And there was a lot of discussion of next year and what that's going to look like. Do you want to talk about that, Mike, or do you want me to?
Yeah, so we're thinking of switching it up next year, everybody, and we're looking for feedback. These are just ideas at this point. So I think so really, the World Series of Fenn is 2 days for most people. It's a Friday, it's a Saturday. And I think we're trying to cram too many things into those 2 days. Because Saturday, when we went to the escape room, we had to walk all the way to Caesars, do the escape room, walk all the way back. And I mean, I was tired. Everybody was tired. And then, hey, we're going to Fremont Street in an hour. And it's like, nah, how about we just go to the room and chill? And I think a lot of people, they just want to go to a room and talk. I mean, that's what the World Series of Fenn is about, is a bunch of people coming together who may talk online or in the forums or whatever, or Zoom, but it's getting together and talking. So you guys didn't do Old Red. You just stayed in the room and talked. And, people went off and did their own thing. Some people wanted to do other things in Vegas.
Well, and some people were like talking at karaoke, and they had to scream to talk at karaoke. Or even at casino, we went and played craps for a while, and there wasn't a spot to actually sit and chill and talk. People, of course, were up to the room. I think it was like 4 a.m. Mike's like, get out. But that's kind of the most fun times and the most memories.
So really, the World Series of Fenn, if you really think about it, really is Thursday night for the pre-party, Friday if we do the poker tournament on a Friday, Saturday for whatever events are there, and Sunday. Some people stay through. So really, it is a 4-day weekend. Not for everybody, but for people come in at different times and leave at different times. So one of the major changes we're thinking of making, and I don't know if logistically how we can do this, but me and K-Pro will figure it out, because that's what we do, is we figure things out, we make them happen. What if we did the poker tournament up in the room? We didn't use the poker room. We did it ourselves. Everybody played poker at night in our suite. So what if we just did that for the World Series of Fenn? And a lot of people that are intimidated because they really don't know how to play and they would never play in the poker room, like Cynthia said she would play if we did that. If it's just us dealing and us up in the room having fun, then she would play. Yeah. So we don't have 7 tables or 5. I think that would invite a lot of new people to play, and we wouldn't have enough tables. So we'd have to do satellites. We would have to do single tables, and like the top 2 or the top 3 would advance to a final table, something like that. So what do you guys think of that idea if we did it up?
And the other thing is, a lot of people were shocked and paid $20 or $30 a day for parking. So we were thinking, so in the first couple of years, I think in year like 2, 3, and 4, it was the first time everybody was coming out. So they wanted to hit Fremont Street. They wanted to go and see the flower or feather ladies. They wanted to go and do all these kind of classic things. Like Caesar's escape room. I don't think anybody wanted to be at Caesar's escape room. They wanted to do an escape room. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to pay $18 for a sub or $120 for a dinner if we went off strip, South Point or Santa Fe or one of those.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Red Rock.
Oh, Red Rock. Yeah.
Off the strip. Station Casino, one of those, Boyd, something.
Yeah.
The Orleans. Yeah. They're a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. So, and a bounty tournament too. I think that would be hilarious if everybody had a bounty on them. So doing something like that could be really interesting, because here's the other thing. Somebody said, Forrest wasn't this huge gambler, but I bowl. And I could not believe it. It was like karaoke. Everyone's like, I bowl. I go into a tournament for bowling. So if we were at one of the casinos that had bowling, I could make a bowling. I don't know how to do
it. A bowling tournament, and we do brackets, single elimination, play it down to 1. That could be a lot of fun. And bowling is what, $5? I don't even know what bowling costs nowadays. $5 a game?
No idea.
Cheaper? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, everybody bowls, or at least you can try to. No bumpers though. No bumpers. It's real bowling. So yeah, we could plan a bowling tournament. We can still do Fremont Street. I have the party bus. The guy called me the next day, like, hey, you guys were great. Let me know. So I have his number. We can call him and set that up any day. So yeah, we were just thinking of moving it to an off-strip location, doing poker up in the room, maybe doing a bowling tournament, mixing it up.
Several people just said this last year, like, all I hear about is the poker tournament. Like, who won the poker tournament? Oh, that's all that happened. Poker is literally 4 or 5 hours for a lot of people, 4 or 5 hours out of 3 days. And so I think this year we saw more of that than ever. I will say we don't need to jam-pack the agenda, because people were – so we're thinking off-strip, and off-strip we might be able to get more discounts in areas. If you guys didn't know, the reason that we were in the Cabinet of Curiosity and our group was supposed to be like maybe 20, 25. Once we hit 50 – the bartender, you guys see it where I'm like, the manager needs to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then security came outside, because when we came outside, we were blocking the area. I got 100 poker chips and I have less than 25 left. So, and I think everybody but one person got an extra one to take home to a searcher friend. So I think we're around 75, 76. So we have been winging it at the Cabinet of Curiosity, and they kicked us out. And then we went into the hallway, there was too many people. Then we went to the food court the next day, there was too many people.
Right.
And this is the year before Netflix. Once Netflix comes out and Shiloh's book comes out and JCB's book comes out, I'm expecting we're going to have more next year than ever. So
bigger and better. Hooli, there you guys heard it here. Hoolies will be at the World Series of Fenn to volunteer to be a dealer. And that's right. We would need dealers, and we would have to work that out. Doesn't mean you can't play, but I would deal, the guys that normally know poker would deal, and then they could play in another one. Those are the things we would work out. But we're just wondering what people think of the idea.
Yeah, so like if what I was thinking is like on Saturday, let's say Friday, let's say we have 8 tables. Friday night we have 2-hour satellites. So you have 1 table, 2 hours, 2 on Friday night, like 1 5 to 7, 1 7:30 to 9:30, 4 or 5 on Saturday, and then we have the big showdown where we all watch the final table.
Final table up in the room. That would be awesome. Everybody could watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Debbie Teal showed up first time. Hi everyone. Just want to tell K-Pro Mike I had a great time. WSOF. Thank you for hosting this. Thank you for coming. I mean,
I sat next to her in poker, and she seems very nice, but she's a shark. She just kept winning and kept winning and kept winning. And I think she came in 4th or 5th. It was incredible. Good job, Debbie Teal.
Yeah, Be Quick knows. Making plans is antagonistic to freedom. So just a couple planned events. Lots of downtime in between where people go do what they want. That's what we're thinking.
Well, and here's the thing. If we went to Red Rock, I'm totally thinking Davio here. People can go hike Red Rock or bike Red Rock or do whatever you want. And then if we had bowling, we had a couple of chill bars. It's not super loud. I'm thinking of the Aliantes. The South Point has the big buffet I know everybody likes. Right. So what I was going to do is reach out to the 4 or 5 off strip. And if people wanted to add a day for actual sightseeing on the strip, the day after WSOF ends, go back to a horseshoe or wherever it is. That's what we're thinking for next year. But we want to get feedback, especially from the 75 or so. I expect well over 100 next year because I think it's going to be, in my opinion, I think it's really going to gear up. Some people did ask if we could do a mid-year one right after JCB's book comes out.
October.
So we have made contact with JCB's team, and I have made contact with the Netflix producer. So either of those that come out, we may do something like October, November-ish, because wouldn't that be cool if they both came out the same week? That would be even better. But I would love to do a showing of the Netflix doc when it comes out. We could rent out a movie theater. And then something like that. And I don't know, or get the room and then get a big screen in the room. I don't know, something. Yeah. So we're not throwing out the idea. I think JCB's team has some things already set in motion. I don't know how we will need a full commitment from JCB, who we haven't spoken with. We've just spoken with his support team to see if that's even a possibility of when he does his tour. Will he put Vegas in his tour? But he'd have to commit to a date because so many people would be flying in. But if that happens, or if Netflix would would be able to all work out with Netflix being able to be shown, that would be awesome too. So if not, we're going to be flexible sometime early spring. I will say it was more expensive for everybody, including us. I mean, we spent a ton on the suite this year, guys, because we just weren't able to get the comps that we've been able to in the past. So yeah, there you go.
There was a video. It didn't make it in the presentation though, but that's all right.
What does that mean?
Well, no, I was saying when we first got the suite, I did a video saying how the $20 trick worked, but we still had to pay full price. But at first, she remembered you from the World Series of Poker and all that. You just didn't put it in, but that's fine.
Okay, so here's what I did, and I wasn't going to cry about it like chasing the Maverick. I worked all day of getting it into one file so I can convert it. When I convert it, it crashed. So I had to divide it into 5 files because I guess it balloons up and then goes down. I lost it. I tried to get as many back in, and Mike had to bring drives down, and it was a mess. So, but no, we still paid a lot for
we didn't get a discounted room, but we got the room because at first she said, "Oh no, they're all taken," and it's when she realized that she recognized us from last year's World Series of Poker.
Wait, who did she recognize?
Christy. Well, you weren't there, honey, but she's like, "Your wife made the final table, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, at the World Series of Poker." So then magically she had a suite available, so it just cost a lot of money. But we're thinking of doing a tournament like maybe $25 or something. I don't know. It wouldn't be $100 buy-in. It'd be like a $25 buy-in. Maybe we could do $5 bounties. But we were going to take some of the money to pay for the room because if we have that room for everybody to hang out in, but again, these are just ideas. But it's not going to be $100.
If we're off strip, I'm thinking they would give us a discount if we bring, and we'd ask everybody to stay there because they could give us a block. If we can guarantee like 20 people to stay at Red Rock, South Point, wherever it is, we could get a discounted room rate and they'll give us more comps that way. We could get food comps, all of that. So I'm going to look into that right now because quite honestly, Horseshoe said to me, I said, what if we guaranteed this and 20? And they're like, we have weddings every single week with more than that with people. So we can't do much with the on strip, but the off strip, we might be able to.
So we'll see. It's just an idea. I mean, if we do a get together in October, that's not World Series of Fenn, or is it? Or does World Series of Fenn the next year?
I don't know. Do we call it like 7.5 or do we? Well, and here's the other thing. If there's a poker tournament, that's always going to be the World Series of Fenn. Right. This year, we converted the name to the game, which is the Grand Adventure, which Mike's had for years and years, meetup experience. So it's called the game because it's really turned into a whole experience. So we will always have WSOF, World Series of Fenn. And if you noticed, all of the Forrest Fenn items that were donated, a lot of them went into the Forrest Fenn WSOF. All the other activities, like if we had a bowling tournament, I don't know, maybe the Xavier Marks crew or David Steele that came or somebody like that would want it named after them. I don't know we have a lot of flexibility. So let's look at the room.
So Nomadic Madman, you must not have watched the recap that we put up. So everybody can go watch this when we're done. There's the video. Yes, Shiloh did FaceTime, talk to a couple people, talk to everybody. So that was nice. Shiloh did give a gift, which was Forrest Fenn's nozzle off his water hose, how he used to water his trees in the backyard. So that was awesome too. And we had a lot of fun, but we're just thinking it's going to get bigger with JBCB's hunt coming out, with Netflix thing coming out. And we do get-togethers, and everybody wants an excuse to come to Vegas. So we're just trying to think how we can make things better.
Well, the funny part was they said on the Cabinet of Curiosities, they're like, I said, I thought we could be on just the one side. And they're like, yeah, that holds 15. Our whole bar holds about 50, 60 at the most. 70 is fire marshal. And they're like, you have over 50. They just counted up the people standing around. And they're like, you have over 50 here. And Mike was like, we got one more group coming before we start. And I was like, oh, so we've just gotten bigger than this is a good thing, growing pains, but yeah.
Right. Well, the other thing is not everybody could make it this past weekend. So maybe they can make it October. We'll see. I mean, it's all up in the air at this point.
Yeah.
These things have to actually happen. JCB's book has to come out. Netflix has to actually be released. There's a lot of things we're waiting on. And maybe even Shiloh's, whatever.
Yeah, Doug got there with his olive jar, and it was packed. That was when they kicked us outside. That's why we were talking outside. But then the massage place was there. There was too many people. I was screaming. By the end of the weekend, my voice was gone because I need a microphone now at this point. Even over at the food court, security came and said, "You guys are blocking the throughway." But I guess we're a victim of our own success, which is fabulous.
So the cabinet was just so warm because so many people were in there. It got hot. That's why we went out in the hallway to do the announcements. And really, we need a camera person, as you can tell. Me and Kate Pro are trying to video it. You see when she was on the microphone at the poker tournament, she also has her phone. Or, somebody, and then everybody's trying to send us videos and pics. We need one person to do it for us, like all the events, film it. So we'll work that out for next year as well.
Some of the originators,
private cash game. That's true.
Well, we had some of the originators. They have reached out before in talking about what works for a treasure hunt, what doesn't work for a treasure hunt. I can tell you, and Mike and I are going to do a show on this because I came up with the list of top 10. I heard so many horror stories of complications of working in a team or with someone, or an originator working, like what happens when items are missing out of the chest or out of, whatever. We heard so many scenarios. There's so many new people to this community. And I hate to say, we got some bad apples in this community. So I think we need to, I'd like to discuss. Here's 10 scenarios of something that happens. What would you do? And no, these people are in the community, and I will say there was a few heated discussions this year at WSO. I wasn't even aware.
People met each other in person for the first time, and some people had certain things to say, which is okay. But yeah, even Forrest Fenn's treasure had 3 coins that were counterfeit when they went to get them certified. They're like, oh, it's not real gold.
And the emerald ring was missing. Well, and Shiloh's like, no, you can't believe NCG or whatever it is. It's like, well, maybe they were worried they were going to have to pay it out of the estate. No, they were counterfeit. So, and you have emerald rings missing, and the chest wasn't at all what it was described. What does that look like, especially with smaller hunts? What happens when something like that happens. So we're going to talk about all that because there was things that, so I haven't been as much in touch with the smaller and volumes of different hunts that have happened. And there's been shenanigans. And it's funny because some of the shenanigans revolve around similar people, which we will not name people. But
we're not trying to call anybody out. We just want to talk about the different scenarios that have happened and what should be done. What can be done.
Yeah.
I mean, what if JCB's hunt, one of the things he says that he gives the description of was fake? What do you do? I mean, yeah.
Well, and on the other side, what if you're in a team and somebody in your team starts sharing with another team? Or, there was some of that and some people that never met before that were on teams and then weren't. They discussed in a I still think it wasn't totally inappropriate, but they were definitely in a heated way talking out. Is it fair game? I don't care if you're on my team, I'm going to lead you astray. And there were shenanigans.
Somebody was like, that's part of the game. It's a treasure hunt. And it's like, well, but if you have an agreement, but JK Pioneer points out they were gold coins in Forrest Fenn's treasure chest, but the strikes were counterfeit, meaning they either changed the year. Mm-hmm. They weren't like whatever they purported to be. It was just gold. It was the gold weight. There was no numismatic value. And NCG is not going to certify it if it's not a legit coin. Anyway.
Well, and in the same way of the chest. The chest wasn't a 12th century Romanesque. It was a 18th century made in France. Does that matter?
Right.
Does it not? Should you just be happy with what you got? Those sorts of things I came up with 10 scenarios, both for originators and for teams. What do you have to check out before you start working with somebody? I mean, there's things like that, shenanigans.
You have to get things in writing or, it's an interesting point, especially when $1 million hunt is coming up. There's going to be teams working on it. This thing is in 5 different states. Yeah, they're good questions. So we want to have some fun with that on a future show. Yeah. Chuck, hope you're doing good. Not sure what happened with you, but hope you're doing all right. And hope to see you at a future World Series of Fenn.
And I got to meet Jeep Girl Jody. She was
she came. We met a lot of people this year. I think this book was part of the reason. So, maybe we'll always do a new treasure hunt every World Series of Fenn. Maybe this won't be found next year, World Series of Fenn. We'll see.
Hey, Mike, is the Invitation Proxy still out there?
It is still out there, confirmed with 7 exclamation points. It is still out there, everybody. I put a book in the mail yesterday. People are still buying it. It's not Shenanigans. We could do a EFT, huh, Sam?
EFT, what the hell does that mean?
Don't even worry about it. NFT actually is the proper terminology.
No.
Anyway, a coin. Anyway. So we always have the poker tournament, guys. Now we're talking about bowling. Maybe some people aren't bowlers like Covert One, but there's a lot of people that are bowlers and they would have a lot of fun. So maybe it would be World Series of Fenn and the JCB Bowling Tournament of Champions. Who knows? We'll come up with something. Or us. Maybe it'll be the Invitation Bowling.
Well, isn't there the moon circle rock thing that's in JCB's hunt? That looks like a bowling ball.
It does look like a bowling ball. I'm going to get the bowling ball with the rose in it. Like, Bill Murray in, what was the movie? Come on, guys. What was the movie? Woody Harrelson. You know what I'm talking about. Bill
Murray's movies.
I know I'm getting old when I can't think of these. Kingpin.
Groundhog Day. That's the only Bill Murray movie I know.
Kingpin. Anyway, so we want to switch it up a little bit, but we're switching it up to make things better. Yeah, Kingpin. I got it finally. Bigger and better, maybe a little bit easier for people, and you have more of a selection on what you want to do. So we'll see. I had my invitation chest tested today, confirmed bronze, 11th century Romanesque. Too funny.
So it was a blast. There was lots of things. I will say the rumors that went out there were at the end of the show, and it does look like so Dale had confirmed. So if you guys want to go to the end, the very end has just 2 seconds of 2 things that came.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But one of them has been a lively discussion on our Discord, which is Jack had said one of the slip-ups was the sticky note on Forrest, and that was from the big story Forrest Fenn from like 2016-17. Well, it looks like that was a username and password for some of his newspaper accounts. Mm-hmm. So the slip up could have been, because I always thought, so if there's 2 slip ups, which is my favorite ... and he always thought fishing hole. And West Yellowstone zip code. How does that get him to 9 Mile Hole? And he said he never left it after those 2 slip ups. Well, I think now he might have figured out how to get into some of Forrest's accounts. Allegedly, I don't know this for a fact.
What? Who came up with this conspiracy theory?
So there was a lot of discussion, and I was working on stuff at WSOF. So I come in to a discussion where Cynthia, after the discussion happened, and this sticky note says indulgence, and then it says the zip code. So she sends that because of some discussion on in that group, sends it to Dale and says, Dale, is there any chance that this is a username and password? And he said, yes, absolutely. He said it was a password to his West Yellowstone newspaper account, to his Bozeman newspaper account, and he thought also his Temple account. And that's how he remembered what it was, is a sticky note taped on his computer. And his computer was filmed for this. I can't. If that's how Jack figured it out, 9 Mile. I think there's an article, perhaps, maybe and Dale said he even had account set up and he would comment to articles. What if Indulgence commented to an article about 9 Mile Hole and said, this is where I want to die? And that's how Jack figured it out. What a shitty ending to a shitty ending of the shittiest ending.
I mean, some people were in Forrest Fenn's den and saw the zip code on the sticky note. That's how I heard about it years ago. But it was like, could it really be in Yellowstone? I mean, we just didn't think it could be there. Yeah, cornhole. They want to play.
Not only that,
cornhole in the room, everybody.
I know that sticky note had been out for a while. I never knew until Dale and I saw it, and Cynthia was nice enough to give me her actual screen captures because I know how important that is to you guys. Dale said, yes, it was his username and sign on to these various accounts. I never knew that. It never occurred to me.
Old people, they leave the password right there on the monitor. I mean, it does make sense. Forrest wasn't a wizard when it came to the computer. Well, but again, the actual text message from Dale is at the end of our video that we put out earlier today. Here's the link. But for some reason, somebody only has it in there for like 2 seconds. You really got to pause on it to see what's going on.
Well, because I didn't want everything to focus on the couple of gossip rumor points. Right. We can discuss that week to week in Discord, all of that. So for me, that I just wanted to highlight the couple of things that, and I will say that only hit me because I came in late when they went up to the suite. I came in late to the Forrest Fenn discussions. Susie was in there and then out and then back in. And there was probably 10 people and they were all discussing these sorts of things. And I think we tangent. And so I didn't want that to become out of the 50 minutes, the only talking point. We had a great time. There was lots of discussions. Andrew is like, he left, I hope, with as much money as he had day 3, but it was awesome.
Well, that's what happens at the World Series of Fenn. Different people get together and tell different stories about Forrest, and you get another piece of the puzzle or another possible piece of the puzzle. And that's why we're saying, instead of so many events, let's just chill out and talk. And, we get more people to show up. We hear about different stories. It'll be the same with the JCB's hunt once that's been out for a year or two and nobody's found one. We'll get together and talk about that. And did you find this? Did you go boots on the ground here? Whatever the treasure hunt is. Yep. So, I think the World Series of Fenn, actually, it's going to be called The Game, the Grand Adventure Meetup Experience. The Game weekend is just going to get bigger and better.
Andrew said, I didn't go home broke. Good for you. You know why? Because I gave him that you need to know when to stop gambling.
You know what? As long as you had fun, it doesn't matter if you went home. I mean, if you went home, as long as you didn't use any of your own money, who cares if you lost what you won? As long as you didn't go into your own pocket and you had fun, hey, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it was fun, I think. So that was the reason I didn't make it the highlight point. I know we'll talk this out in nauseum because this, to me, makes total sense now. If he was able to gain whatever, maybe he didn't even gain access to his account, but he knew for some reason he saw Indulgence in a comment in the Bozeman News that was about 9 Mile Hole. And there was a comment from Indulgence that said, this is where I want to die. To me, this is absolutely the slip up. This is how he did it. And
maybe, well, that means it was a bad ending. And then what are we left with? There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, Jack retrieved it. Did he cheat? Is that cheating? I don't know. He didn't do anything
Well, he hacked
illegal.
into-
Forrest Fenn left the damn thing out. I
No,
mean,
if you sign it, because I checked with somebody,
Oh.
because some of these accounts may still be open. I said, if you have the username and sign on, are you allowed to sign on to them, or is it illegal? And he has made it clear it is illegal. If it's not your account, even if you
That
have the
makes
username
sense.
and password, you're so he acted illegally, but I guess Forrest acted illegally with putting it in Yellowstone. So the whole thing's
Right,
illegal.
yeah.
It's just a bunch of crooks.
If Jack did that, we don't know for
If
sure.
Jack did that.
Yeah, if Jack
Yeah.
did.
So here's the other thing. Cynthia, there
That's
was a
right,
lot of
David Pisano. Go ahead. His username's indulgence and his password's a zip code. That's pretty
That's
good.
exactly what it is. Why are you laughing?
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yes.
that. Oh, jeez. Oh, can it get any crazier, guys? Can the thrill of the chase get any wackier?
Yeah. Okay. So the other one was there was a lot of discussion about the binder. Some people had so there was a lot of discussion about the binder, and so Cynthia, Shiloh had called or zoomed in or whatever, FaceTime, whatever. And I know a couple of people got to say hello. We were actually in transportation mode between different events. So I know a lot of people were like, gosh, if we would have known, hey, you have an event of almost 100 people, maybe coordinate a little. But they didn't. So I know a lot of people didn't get a connect. But Cynthia was able to connect with Shiloh and say, is this going to be is the binder actually going to be part of your book? And he gave the thumbs up. For some people, that thumbs up means confirmed with 9 exclamation points.
9 thumbs.
Some people say that just means thumbs up, like, hey, whatever. I'm ignoring you and I don't want to say anything. I think it probably leans because I think the cease and desist went over that this was a part of they were going to be publishing it. That's not what Shiloh discussed with us when he was talking about the sections, but it could be one section. We don't know, but it looks like his book is still going if he's given the thumbs up that this is going to be a part of his book. So the binder, which Dale put out, which I know some have, some don't, and that's why we're not publishing it. We want to make sure that Dale has been told if there's any negative book sales due to Dale putting it out, the family is going to take financial or litigate against him and take financial whatever. And so that's why we don't want to put it out, and just respect to the family. We do discuss it in general under fair use. We can talk about a page or a paragraph or a sentence or whatever, but in whole, that is what Shiloh, I think amongst other things, is going to be discussing in his book. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty big book. Isn't that exciting, Mike?
Well, I mean, I didn't see much in that scrapbook or whatever you call that book that was, I don't know. It's Forrest Fenn's family, Forrest Fenn's history. I get it. There was nothing related to the treasure chest other than the 9 Mile Hole paragraph.
It talks CIA. It talks Skippy being murdered. It talks 9 Mile Hole being the special spot he wants to die at. Come on, Mike.
Who asked what year did that video with passwords happen? Well, I know a searcher that was in his house 6 or 7 years ago, and I talked to them about it then. So it's definitely been out there.
I looked up the article. Let me just tell you. And it was either 2016 or 17. Hold on. I posted it
just a while ago.
Yeah, it was either 20. Hold on. Let me look. Because I literally posted it today, but there's so much discussion in our Discord. Oh, and congratulations to us. We are well over 500 now. That was a big on
Discord. 500 members.
So let me see if I can find it. Oh gosh, too much.
And while you're looking for it, I'll just say our buddy Brent John, you guys know Brent John. He's got a website, thebrentjohnstory.com. He's trying to get the word out about his book. He says he has a letter signed by Forrest that he was the finder. I don't know. That's why he wrote a book. So you can pre-order the book, thebrentjohnstory.com, and there's the link. So if anybody wants to go do that, there it is. Show him a little
July 6, 2016.
2016, that video was shown that showed so people knew about it. I mean, that could take you to Yellowstone, but like you said, what took Jack to 9 Mile Hole specifically?
Right, it didn't. That was the sign on that took him. It wasn't just a zip code. So exactly.
I don't know what trap book means. Jason Northfest said, I agree. Trap book. I don't know
what scrapbook
mean. Oh, scrapbook? Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, yes, it seems. I don't know. I mean, we're guessing. Is Shiloh's book going to be like a Forrest Fenn scrapbook? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. JCB bowling tournament. No, we're thinking of doing one, Davio. Nobody bowled this last time, but we're thinking of doing bowling for the next one.
Yeah, but some people were like, bowling. No, wait. we all sat in a room together. We all came to Vegas and we sat in a room together and talked. So yeah, no, I think it's great. So okay, that answers Julie's question. And we did do a special tribute, and I don't think it got captured. We really want to thank 3D Bronze. He not only came out with one of our replica boxes, but lots of little ones that we gave out to many people working on the invitation. And we bought him into the poker tournament. We gave him a little chip. And he did pretty well. I think he came in third, right? Fourth, third.
3D Bronze?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fourth. Yeah, I believe he came in fourth. That's right. Yeah, that was great. We did buy him in as a thank you for making the awesome chest for the invitation and all the little ones that he made for the gold flake. Greg says, "Oh, admit it. We all looked hard for any slip ups during the chase. Why should Jack be any different?" Yeah, I agree. As long as he didn't do anything illegal, but if you log in with Forrest Fenn's login, that's a little shady. If he just saw the zip code on the post it like everybody else, well, that's fair game. But anything
logically speaking, would Forrest saying it was hidden at my favorite and then tapers off, and seeing indulgence in a zip code take you to 9 Mile Hole and you never could walk away from it?
Well, no, there had to be more. I thought it was Marvin Fenn's fishing log was part of it too.
No,
right?
The two slip ups were those two things. So I think when he says the sticky note was the other slip up, I think we just found the thing that I'm not going to say suspect because it sounds too negative, and positivity always triumphs over negativity, is we're 4 years in. Why is this just coming out now? I wasn't there during the initial discussion, but when Cynthia asked Dale, Cynthia said she wasn't aware of it. And then Dale was like, yeah, and just dropped it like a bomb in the middle of church. It was like, this is such big news.
But hang on.
Go ahead.
If it's log in to the West Yellowstone newspaper, Bozeman or whatever, what does that really say? I mean, it's like if I subscribe to the Detroit Free Press and I just have a login, there's nothing like you think he saves certain articles or something.
Yes,
like,
he said that. Dale said he even commented when he logged into his account under certain articles. Oh, there's some of us Scooby-Dooing the crap out of this right now because we're going to find the articles. We're going to find some guy named Indulgence, but Jack probably covered his tracks, much like he was deleting off Condor. Do you think he would go in and delete some of Forrest accounts? I don't know.
Well, now that you just put it in that video, everybody's going to log in with it and see if it works. So somebody let us know, I guess. I'm not condoning that behavior. I'm just saying somebody's going to do it if that's what we're talking about. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that was where did Jack say the sticky note was one of the slip ups?
In the video.
In what video? Oh, the New Mexico video or whatever. Oh, that video. That video that nobody has seen except for certain people and blah blah blah. And okay, now I understand it. In that, well, that's huge. That is breaking news, everybody.
Oh my God! Welcome to the table, Mr. Slow Pants.
It's breaking gossip, is what it is, because some people don't believe there's a video.
I put it under rumors and Easter eggs and secrets. It's not anything official. Because that's exactly what it was.
That video.
But everything starts like when the Condor guys, Rimsbrock and Ben and Rudy and all those guys, when they started researching Condor or all the other In the Wood and all that, it started out as just a rumor and a maybe and a his and a huh. And then it came out that it was it. Puerto Rico started out as a rumor. And then it became it. GPS started out as a rumor. Turd, nice to see you again, Turd at WSOF. But
we did meet Scott at WSOF. That's funny.
But what my point is, that rumor ended up being gossip and turd-like. So everything starts with a rumor. This one seems, again, my only question is why 4 years later? But I think we just got a really good breadcrumb to look through. And here's one. You guys want to get really conspiratorial? So I called Brigham Young today because Brigham Young has the West Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Brigham Young is a university.
I know.
So I called them because they had the archive to the West Yellowstone News, which went out of business, and their entire archive is missing.
What? Well, wait, why you went to them for what? For what
I
article?
wanted to see what articles, because the West Yellowstone newspaper is out of business. So Brigham Young has their archive.
Oh,
So I contacted them because I wanted to, kind of like I did in Temple, I'd like to search some archives. And they're like, we don't, they first said, yeah, we'll fulfill it, your order, and we'll give you a PDF of it and all that. No.
There's no library in West Yellowstone that keeps all that stuff on microfiche like you see in the treasure hunt movies.
Right. Mike, are you okay with me like going to Temple? Brigham Young had it electronically.
No, you're not.
Yeah, like the Bozeman Library in Bozeman, Montana has it. Go ahead, Mike. Take a little trip on yonder.
Well, also our video that we put out today, which was a premiere video, it wasn't live as a video. At the end, it also has the words from Douglas Preston and the words from Carl Sumner for everybody at the World Series of Fens. You can read those as well. You can see Shiloh's note with the Forrest Fenn nozzle on his hose. And very quick, you got to pause it. You can see what the sticky note is. What was the other thing you put in? The sticky note? There was something else.
The binder. Shiloh confirmed that he's publishing the binder as a part of his book, which is pretty cool.
So those text messages and all that are there. So, but again, why are we here talking about it? Okay, Pro. Why are we here 4 years later still talking?
Because we care. We want to know what happened. Okay.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Go ahead.
What I meant was we're here talking about it because Forrest Fenn did not release the solution. That's why we're here talking about it. We're here talking about it because Forrest Fenn gave the option to the finder, which maybe at the time seemed like a great idea, but I think in hindsight is not the way to end a treasure hunt. And there's a video, an audio or a video of Forrest recently that somebody found and released where they say, why don't you want the solution out? And he says, because it'll give problems to a couple people. Those are his exact words. It will cause problems for a couple of people. And that's the finder because it was in Yellowstone, I guess. Yeah, that is some problems. Yeah. Anyway, that's why we're still here talking about it, everybody, because the solution.
Well, no, but I had a little debate with Copper Dan is saying that he's getting an interview with Jack, and I'm like, really? But anyway, even if Copper Dan, and I hope he does. I hope he does get it. More power to him. He said, don't doubt me. I'm not doubting you. I just believe that the answers that I'm looking for, he says he'll get total closure if he got this interview or discussion or whatever with Jack. To me, Jack is never going to say, I hacked Forrest. He's never going to say, those scrapbooks is when I was in a pissing match with Forrest and he called me a retard and I told him it's a shit show. He's never going to admit he was Condor. He's never going to admit a lot of the things that we know already as fact.
Is Jack ever going to admit he found it in September, went to Puerto Rico, and came back in June when the park opened? Would he ever admit that?
Well, he admitted it on the video, but I don't think he thinks the video was ever going to get out. But here's the thing for me. I will be interested in any information that comes. Holy says it perfectly in previous times. Everyone who talks, I want talking. But I get to decide if it is something that passes my smell test. So though I think Jack may come out one day with whatever he comes out with, I don't think he's going to admit to September because the Sexton family passed away. I don't think he's going to. I think a lot of these things he is not going to admit to. Those are the answers I care about. Now, Mike has said, I just want the solution. Who cares if Jack fucked Forrest over and blah, blah, blah. I personally care about that.
Because he can't change it at this point. Right. It would be fun to know, but it doesn't really change anything. I want to know the solution more than anything. I want to know what the 9 clues in the poem meant to Forrest. That's what I want to know.
Did anyone at WSOF have the solution that takes you to the note? Some people said they have. Ken from Oklahoma. And if you're that Ken, thank you for your donation.
Yeah, it is.
So some people said they did. And that's been out for a while, though. If you want to go up on Thor, there's Everything But the Blaze. Rudy's done a video. I did a video and actually put it on a sticky note. Maybe that's why sticky note.
When Forrest said, if your solution doesn't fit on a sticky note. That's funny. That's funny.
What if that's why? Because Jack notified him. I figured everything out through your sticky note.
That's funny.
Oh,
very
my.
Good. Very good. So
why is everyone LOLing? This is serious.
Well, let's think this through. Forrest, who's had a million searchers into his den, leaves a sticky note on his monitor that has indulgence and the zip code to Yellowstone, and it turns out that is the username and password for different newspaper sites. Was that it? Is that what? And again, Dale's text message is at the end of the video. Go check it out.
Yeah, Dale says that he knows that it was the he named 3
Bozeman, I think.
West Yellowstone that went out of business, and Temple, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be an innocent thing where Forrest was like, I just need to remember. But it just happens the treasure chest is in the zip code as well. Like, I don't know. Yes.
It's almost unbelievable how stupid it is. I mean, did you really think of everything when you leave the username and say, maybe he did. But here's the thing. So Bavetta used to do like IT stuff, and he posted an article. 57% of people surveyed say that they leave their password on their computer
or under their keyboard. A lot of people have it a notebook under their keyboard, and that's where all their passwords are. Yes, Shiloh did FaceTime Chasing Indy or Bambi, as we call her now, and to talk to a lot of people at World Series of Fenn. So that was fun. Thank you, Shiloh. And thank you for the gift that you sent as well.
Hey, did anybody find Cowlazars' treasure?
No, they did not. They thought they were going to come out here and end the fun. They thought they were going to find it. More than several people went boots on the ground looking for it, but it's still out there.
Well, and one came up to me. One came up to me and took his hand out of his pocket and said, here.
Yeah. And it wasn't.
He didn't have it.
And we have confirmed it's still in its place, everybody. Yeah. So you want a Forrest Fenn gold coin, you want a bunch of silver, you want some other cool stuff, and an awesome invitation box from 3D Bronze. I should bring a picture up of that. It's still out there.
He is saying you are guessing. Absolutely. Right now, all we know is what Dale has said, the question that went to Cynthia, and Dale responding yes. And he named 3 of the outlet that was the username and sign on. I don't know if there's more. I don't know what articles are there. I know that this isn't going to be a new rabbit hole because I find it interesting because, again, it never made sense to me how that sticky note and ... trailing off my favorite took you to 9 Mile Hole and never. If I read an article, let's just give an example, Mike. Let's say they go to West Yellowstone News and Jack found an archived article about 9 Mile Hole that Forrest Fenn wrote, let's just even say, and it says it's the place I want to die. Now that newspaper isn't even archived anymore. You can't find it anywhere. Jack finds it. Do you think that would make you never want to leave 9 Mile Hole?
No, it does. That doesn't make sense. What? Say it again. No, not 9 Mile Hole. I thought Yellowstone.
No, follow. You got to focus on me.
Go ahead.
If this is an if, this is a circumstantial, not factual thing. Well, that's for everybody else.
I understand.
If the West Yellowstone newspaper has an article of Forrest Fenn in 2007 had written that said 9 Mile Hole is my favorite fishing spot and where I want to die. That is now not available to anybody because it's been archived and they're out of business. And you figured that out through this indulgence in zip code. Would that make you want to stay there and never go anywhere else?
If Forrest Fenn actually said that's where I want to die, well, duh, yeah, because Forrest Fenn said it's where I want to die. I didn't hear you say that part. I was trying to find our awesome box picture. So yes, it's a big if, but if somehow Jack, well, that's what Jack said. Didn't Jack say I figured out where he wanted to die?
Oh, you know what else Jack said? Yeah. Jack said nobody could really be sure of the area because of how the poem is structured, only by about 20%. You would have to have access to something, like Forrest GPS data in 2009 to get to 100%, and I was at 100%. Doesn't that quote out of Condor's database make a lot more sense now?
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, we need the actual smoking gun, and Scooby-Dooers, Scooby-Doo it. I'm not a super research buff, but the Rimsbrock, come back. Vertigo. I mean, guys, maybe it's not. Maybe it is not the case. But right now, we have something that we've never had before, which was confirmation from Dale. I happen to believe Dale. I don't like the timing, just like I don't like the timing of when 2.0 was put out. I don't like the timing, but I do believe Dale. So if this was a username and sign on and he named three newspapers, I want to see the archives of those newspapers. Scooby-Doo it, guys. Scooby-Doo it.
Yeah, I mean, that is what Jack said. I figured out where he wanted to die. And then what did Jack have to do? He metal
Oh,
detected
Lord,
it. Whether he
listen.
metal detected it in September of 2019 or June of 2020, he says it took him 2 weeks of searching and metal detecting. He had to grid search it and all that. So yeah, just say yes, Mike. Yeah, pretty much, Steve. Yeah, I know, guys.
Yeah, Mike said yes, man. He does whatever. Did you see? Well, never mind. Don't get me started.
Easy. Yeah. Now Ken says I'm asking because it seems like all the poem does is get you across the river. That's true, but you were
That's
supposed
why
to
he had
find
to
the
grid
blaze.
search. That's why he had to
Right.
use a metal detector.
So what happened to the blaze? Apparently the blaze that Forrest Fenn left was either not still there, was broken, damaged, or missing. I mean, I don't know. We don't know what we don't know. So, but here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. What was the zip code? Well, if you go to that video and look, you can find it, David. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
It's 5 numbers.
Yeah, 5 numbers. But if Jack did not figure this out, whether it was through my favorite ... or this sticky note or whatever it was, I don't think anybody was ever going to find it. I don't think it was findable. If you did not know 9 Mile Hole was the place, and metal detected it, because the blaze was gone, I don't think anybody could have ever found it. So this would have just went on
and
forever.
The poem didn't take you to an exact location.
Right.
And yeah.
I mean, there are searchers who went to 9 Mile Hole and didn't find it before Jack. I mean, I don't think it would have been findable.
Yeah, and that's interesting to me. How Jack actually found it, if he hacked in or if he just found what. Okay, here's another scenario, Mike. What if it was in the Bozeman newspaper, and when you go into their online system, it's like Forest Fire. Forrest used to do comments as Forest Fire. What if there's a comment on indulgence after a 9 Mile Hole article that says something like, "This is the greatest place. This is where I want to die." And now Jack knew it was indulgence that posted it, and Forrest was indulgence. There could be a way that he didn't hack, but he used information that was accessible. I mean, I don't blame Jack for using every legal available resource. Okay, wait. Be Quick says Forrest Fenn was good friends with Norton antivirus folks. I did not know this. Technically, it could have been a login password for Forrest Fenn's Gmail, and Jack could have logged in to see what emails Forrest was choosing to read. Do you see, Mike? We need to find this out because we don't want wrong information out there. I got a research project on my hands, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know, everybody. And that's just it. We're never going to know, but
we are going to know. We're going to know. We know Condor. We know Puerto Rico. We know what's in the videos.
But
I mean,
something that was talked about at World Series of Fenn that I know we've talked about before, but for some reason it never caught up in my brain was to get to 9 Mile Hole, to get to the treasure location, you didn't have to go through the water. Yes. You could have crossed the bridge at 7 Mile Hole. Was that what it's called? And walked all the way up the bank so you didn't technically have to go through the river. And I know everybody says, oh my God, Forrest never would have expected you to go through the river. Well, he did, if you can believe the person that saw the video, because he fell, because he had a fishing line, blah, blah, blah. But you didn't have to. So that's interesting to me that you didn't have to go through that 9 mile through the Madison River to find it. You could have realized it was Fenn Rock and you wanted to go across from Fenn Rock, but you crossed the bridge and walk your way up. I don't know. I've never crossed it, so I guess I can't say if that's legitimate or not.
Crossed it. But I think a kid like Forrest could have crossed it. A kid like David could have crossed it because he's 6'2". Eric, it'd be up to past his weight. It'd be up to his chest. So
it depends what time of year with the melt off and everything. It really depends when you go.
All right. Yeah.
So I think we did have some breaking news at this year's World Series of Fenn. I mean, that is interesting. I always knew about the zip code on the sticky note from 6 years ago. I didn't know about the indulgence part. So maybe that was held back.
I knew indulgence and the zip code. It never occurred to me that it would be a username and sign on. And 4 years after the fine, I never occurred to me to ask Dale, and it never occurred to me that he would respond and say, here's 3 newspapers to check. He didn't say it like that, but that's what we're doing now because we gotta figure this out, Mike. We can't let it go. We cannot let it go because we have Netflix coming up. We have Shello's book coming up. We need to see.
Yeah, well, David Posano just had a different zip code. Well, maybe they both are. I don't know. But the one that Sam posted is the one that was written on the sticky note. And that is, if you look it up, the zip code for West Yellowstone. Right? 82190.
Oh.
82190.
It's in our Discord.
Yeah. What is 82190? Sorry. Yeah, 82190. Yellowstone National Park. I mean, it says right there.
What was on the island at the gallery from 2010 to 2020? No idea. I would love you to tell me. So if you will put it in chat, I would most appreciate it. Do you believe in fun and answers? I believe Shiloh believes he's going to be giving us fun and answers. Do I think it'll be fun and answers for everyone? Probably not. We don't agree on anything, guys. But do I think he thinks he's going to provide that? Yes. Do you need a vehicle to know where you're at the right spot? You must be clicking on your left and get down. Okay. I think you need to go to Naima Hole yourself just to decide. Yeah, I went a couple of times. I agree with you, Jeep Girl Jody, because I went and it hits me the most when, I'll just say, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I don't care.
What's that?
I think when Jack says, I had to think like Forrest, what was his favorite spot? Fishing was his life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that became it. It was in Forrest's eyes. And right. I'm not an advocate for one over the other. It's just more of the evidence leans that way. It could be something different later, but I just have I don't know.
Yeah, he's a fishing guide at 12. I mean, that was a big part of his life. So, Davio, we never did get what you sent. If it was a package, no, we never got it. If it was like small, like an envelope, it could be in the box and they need to go check. But if it was like a package, no, we never got it. So you might have sent it to the old address. It has to be the Aliante Parkway address. So sorry.
So David Pisano says clearly 59758. What does that mean?
He's saying that's a zip code. Yeah, no, I don't think that was a zip code that was posted. I'm checking.
Now I have to go in and
I'm checking it right now. He's right. Sam, you're wrong. Yeah, David Pisano is right. The zip code that was on the sticky note was 59758. I don't know. Oh, so Sam was saying there's another zip code. So yeah, you're right, David. The zip code on the sticky note.
So the zip code is 59758. Is that what we said?
Yeah, Sam posted.
We just resolved another whole mystery. Look what we do here.
Well, somebody else. Yeah. Oh, some of us have to go somewhere, but yeah, we can jump in Discord. Can't talk about the invitation though.
If Jack used the password to look at emails, that could be what FF and Jack were fighting about. That's exactly right. And that's why there's no way Forrest used the retard word without signaling that he knew.
Steve Klein up above points out that you just can't have a 5-digit number as a Gmail password. It makes you use a capital and a lowercase, and it's got to be 8 digits. So I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, but some of us didn't use the Gmail Gmail. Forrest had more. Yeah.
Well, he had more than one. Yeah, he may have, because he had Earthlink when the book first came out, didn't he? So, but yeah. Anyway, this is all conjecture, people. What's not conjecture is he had the sticky note on his monitor with indulgence.
And what's not conjecture is I'm not saying that Dale is absolutely telling the truth. I am saying that I believe Dale, and we have Dale in writing provided the actual screenshot of what he said here, which it's bending my mind. Like I'm saying right now, I'm just the messenger. It's bending my mind that this happened. And I believe it. I believe that this is how. Now, whether Jack actually hacked in or Jack found indulgence as a comment, I think, okay, I'm going to be really honest here. I think Dale in October 17, 2019, Forrest told him, this guy has found it. He's not picking it up. And I am worried about searchers dying. Help me. Something happened where basically Dale said, no, I'm out. But Dale knows what happened and is committed to Forrest and not saying, but he's willing. Why did he drop 2.0 2 years after? Why did he drop those emails that said Forrest was trying to call off the chase? Why did he just drop that this sticky note was actually an email? If we ask him, he answers. If we ask him, how did this end? He goes, Jack's a jerk, but I don't have any evidence. You might not have the evidence, but I think Forrest told him, and he's trying to do right by Forrest in not revealing it, but I think he wants to reveal it. So I think he just gave us another piece, or I'm completely getting snowed, which I have before, but I just believe this is another data point. And here's the cool part. if we find an article that has an indulgence comment, or if we find Forrest Fenn wrote one of these articles, it's independent data. So we're going to be able to figure it out on our own, just like Condor database, just like the emails, just like the stuff that we have gotten so far has been, just like the binder, just like other things. Once it's independent data, we can determine whether that, right now it doesn't pass the smell test for me that Jack's 2 slip-ups are the 2 slip-ups, because that doesn't take you to 9 Mile Hole. This makes a lot more sense. Why did it come out now? I don't know. I sure would love Shiloh to answer. He can't right now. Netflix, I don't think, has this. I think we're getting ready as a community to find something again, because for searchers, by searchers, we kill it for each other. It's awesome. We're going to come through, research it, Scooby-Doo it, do it. I want to hear about it. Okay, go ahead.
Can I buy you?
If this is correct, that Jack saw a video that showed the sticky note with indulgence and the zip code to Yellowstone, and he used that to log into something, and that's how he got 9 Mile Hole, and that's why he metal detected it. Worst ending for a treasure hunt ever. Worse than Masquerade, worse than Fandango. And it's just bad. If that's what happened, that's horrible.
But think about this. So let's say Jack goes to Forrest and says, look, I have this. I know you put in an illegal location, so I want a tax exemption form. And Forrest says, go sell it at a pawn shop like I've told everybody else. I don't want to give you one. And Forrest, they go back and forth. The day after the park closed its doors, Forrest put out a scrapbook that says this is the day of no return. You have passed the point of no return. And they're battling. I want to know all of that. Does it make it worse and terrible? Yes. I want to know if Jack hacked. I want to know if Forrest and Jack were yelling at each other. There is no way with that scrapbook analysis that I feel I did a decent job at, and overlaid it with the great stuff that the Condor guys researched and got, and the court emails. If you put all those together, there's no way Forrest did not know that Jack found it in September of 2019, because even in the video, he didn't look surprised.
And there it is, everybody. Yet another conspiracy theory bridge brought to you by the 7th annual World Series of Fenn in Las Vegas, Nevada. I don't know what to say to all that other than, I don't know. I don't know what to say to all that. But all you detectives out there, all you keyboard warriors, maybe you can.
Here's the thing for me. I'm not urgent like I used to be. Like obsessed. We got to get it and get it quickly and all that. Eventually, this is going to get solved. The longer it takes, the harder it is to capture data points. But we're going to get big breaks like this. We haven't had a break in over a year in getting some big data or big data point that might help us. But there's some of us that really want to know the answer, and I'll always be interested in it. I'm going to be 75 years old when somebody emails me and says, my great-grandfather was a searcher, and I just found this picture of him and Forrest and Jack, or I don't know, whatever. I'm going to be interested in forever. And that doesn't make me bad. It just, I'm not obsessed anymore like I used to. Like I said to Mike, Mike's like, well, is it on microfiche? I'm like, yeah, I can take a road trip. And he's like, no, I'm not looking to make a road trip. I did think about it, but I'm not looking to make a road trip. But if I can get it PDF to me, sure, let's look at it. And I'll put it out for everybody. I'm not looking for any secrets. I just want to know the answers. Okay, I'm done. I'm off my.
All right. Somehow we did an hour like we always do. So we're going to drop off, everybody. Thank you, everybody. World Series of Fenn was a success. It was bigger than ever. We're going to change things up next year. We're going to have a lot of fun next year. And we found out this interesting info. Who knows if it's true or not? Who knows why Forrest Fenn left that there? And who knows if it was a hint that he left there intentionally? But I mean, so many searchers were in his den. I cannot see that it would, but he probably never realized anybody would, do anything with it.
He didn't have his laptop open and going most of the time. Like I got on his laptop and I was responding to searchers, but I wasn't smart enough. I needed a crutch. I didn't even see it. Like I didn't take pictures. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I wish I just took a lot more. I didn't notice these things. Anyway, whatever. Yes, WSOF, and no, we have no more party, but there's plenty more party bus videos. None that are going to see the light of day, Steve.
Brian Gates. We met Brian Gates for the first time.
Brian
That was
Gates
cool.
won the gold. Brian
Yeah,
Gates owned a part of the Forrest Fenn treasure.
That's right. He won a gold flake. All right, everybody. We'll see you in the speakeasy tonight. If you want to talk about it.
When did that
Why
happen?
not? Hooley, she said, how about the speakeasy tonight? So apparently it's going to happen. Invitation is not found. It is still out there. So everybody who thought you were going to come out for the World Series of Fenn and find it. There it is. It's been so long. I don't know which one of these is right. No motor boating this year. So many ways we could take that. How many people got gold flakes?
2. We gave 2 away this year. So the one complaint that we got is you have to win at poker to be able to get a gold flake. So we decided to give 2 away this year. We did one for the poker tournament, which actually came in third. The person that came in third took it. And then the other one was Brian Gates, and he got it. Maybe we give one for the bowling tournament next year.
We got to give a gold bowling pin trophy. All right. We could have a lot of fun with that. Okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll do it again.
And oddly, this is funny, 3D Bronze. 3D Bronze won his container back, but it has a gold flake in it. So it's his second one.
That's true.
All a lie.
I don't know. I just don't know. We
I don't
think
know
it's
Matt.
over and we find more info.
Matt owns the right to iPhone. Could be a hacker. Matt, who's Matt?
Matt DeMoss? Or Matt somebody else? I don't know who he means.
That doesn't make sense. Okay.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you. Thanks for tuning in. K-Pro Cow always going live with the interesting info. Or is it a you be the judge?
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, breaking news?
Yeah, it could be that. If
It
you
could.
dream, learn how to dream, Mike. Dream big. Imagination is more important than knowledge.
Whoa, you're angry.
I'm going to take a bat to that thing.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Yes, next year, World Series of Fenn will be better and bigger. That's what she said. All right. See ya.